Hello everybody and welcome to today's English conversation class. If you remember me from the last videos, my name is Don Van Antwerpen, but of course you can always call me Kuma Sensei. So today we are going to go over our monologue. The monologue is titled African Diversity in Language, Nature, and Religion. Now, before you listen, you were supposed to think about the question at the top of your handout. The question was, if you visited Africa, what would you like to do? A, visit historical sites. B, see wild animals. C, learn about African cultures. Or D, enjoy shopping and eating. Now, we're going to talk about this a little more at the end when we talk about stereotypes. But it's worth remembering that Africa is one of the 7 continents in the world and is made up of many different countries. So Africa is itself not a country, but it has many countries within it. And today, we're going to be talking mostly about Rwanda. So let's go ahead and get started looking at the answers to today's monologue homework. Let's look at section 1. In section 1, you needed to choose the phrase that is related to each word and practice pronouncing it. The first word for number 1 is buffalo. The word buffalo matches with letter B because it is a large animal of the cow family. Easy to pronounce, buffalo. Number 2 is the word democratic. Now this is a longer word, a little harder to pronounce. Democratic. Make sure you end with k and not ku. Democratic. And the answer, of course, for this is D. Controlled by elected representatives. A democratic government is the type of government we have in most Western, and indeed many Eastern, countries. Most of the world right now is under democratic governments. Number 3 is the word familiar. Again, an easy one to pronounce. Familiar. The answer to this one is letter G. Knowing something or someone very well. So your favorite TV show, for example, is something that is familiar to you. Videos with me by now should be something that is familiar to you, since this is the 3rd video from me that you've seen. Number 4 is a much more specific word. This word is halal. Now the word halal is letter A. Acceptable according to Muslim religious law. Now, if you are not Muslim, you will likely find this word used mostly for food. You will see it applied to halal foods and meats that are served at Muslim-owned shops. So that's one that you can tell and see in regular usage. However, within the Muslim community, it's used for a great number of things. Number 5 is the word patient. The word patient matches to letter C, a person who is receiving medical treatment. Now that is the best and most related answer here, but patient can mean several different things in English. It can also describe someone who is very good at waiting. A person who is good at waiting is also patient. But in this case, the answer is a person who is receiving medical treatment. Number 6 is the word provide. The word provide matches with letter I, to give. Now the word provide means to give, but it doesn't necessarily mean exactly the same. Provide means to give in a way that suggests that you needed to. So as a teacher, I provide you with education. It's not a gift, but it is something that I give to you. Small difference in meaning, but might be worth thinking about. Number 7 is the word republic. And the word republic matches with letter E, governed by a president and politicians. Now the word republic is a little more specific than that. A republic is a government in which people are elected and the population, that is all of the people, have a say in how the country is run. It's like a more general version of democratic, but it also refers specifically to the government structure. So whereas democratic is a general term that means the people are part of the process, a republic is a specific structure of government with a president usually, or a prime minister and politicians and representatives that is arranged so that the people of a country can participate in their own leadership. Number 8 is the word rule. Now let's look at this again. The word is rule. Now you'll want to pay close attention to this because it has both R and L sounds. Rule. So this one's going to start back in your throat with an sound. Roo, and then it's going to end with an sound in the front of your face. Rule. The word is not doo-doo, and it's not roo or lulu. There's no oo at the end. It starts with oo, rule. Take some time to practice that one. Now the word rule matches with the definition in letter H, to control and have authority over a country. It's worth knowing that to rule doesn't necessarily mean just a country. You can rule the world. You can rule a country. You can rule a city. You can rule over your own bedroom. The word simply means to control and have authority over a person, a thing, or a place. However, in today's monologue, the word rule means to rule over a country, since we're talking about Rwanda. Number 9 is trekking. Trekking. Now be careful with the pronunciation here. You may have noticed there are 2 K's in the word, but unlike in Japanese, it doesn't change the pronunciation. It's not trekking, it's trekking. No change. Now, trekking matches with the definition in letter J, meaning walking, especially in mountains and for pleasure. Now, trekking is the ing form, the continuous form of the verb to trek. And to trek means really just to go on a long journey, to explore, to go walking or searching for a long time. So this is one that has a very broad meaning, and one you'll see used in a lot of American TV shows often enough. Number 10 is the word volcano. Volcano. Now, volcano is matched with the definition in letter F, which says kind of a mountain. Now, you may know that a volcano is more than just kind of a mountain. A volcano is a mountain, or at least it looks like one, and it connects to the super hot lava or magma, liquid rock that is super hot and lives way under the ground. Now, that magma, that lava, comes to the surface through a volcano and often explodes. And that liquid rock, that lava, will go everywhere and make new land, new ground. In fact, millions of years ago, the islands of Japan were formed by volcanoes, and there are still many of them around even today. So it's a good word to know. Let's look at section 2. For section 2, you have been given multiple choice questions. Now, for each of these questions, you have a question and 4 possible answers that you need to choose the correct one from. So let's look at these and discuss what the correct answers are. For number 1, here's your question. According to the talk, what does the name patient mean in Rwanda? Now, your answer options are A, somebody who frequently goes to the doctor, B, somebody who is calm and composed, C, somebody who loves their parents, or D, somebody who is being loved. Now, before I give you the answer, why don't you go back and take a look at the first paragraph of the dialogue. And as you take a look, remember what the question is asking. What does the name patient mean in Rwanda? Now, if you think about it, you'll find that the correct answer is actually D, somebody who is being loved. If you're wondering why that is, it's because the question asks, what does the name patient mean in Rwanda? The question is not asking what the name patient means in English. It's asking what the name patient means in Rwanda. So what the guide says in the first paragraph is the correct answer. Number 2 asks the question, why is French an official language of Rwanda? Your options are A, because Rwanda was previously ruled by Germany, B, because Rwanda was previously governed by Belgium, C, because many tourists spoke the language, and D, because government officials recently added it as an official language. Now, if you want to go back and take a look, you might figure this out by looking at paragraph 2. I'll wait. Are you back? Great. Let's take a look. The correct answer is B, because Rwanda was previously governed by Belgium. You can find this answer, as I said, in paragraph 2, and it's important here to remember what the word ruled means, because that word will point you to the correct answer. Let's look at number 3. Number 3 gives you a graphic, gives you a nice little pie graph. And this pie graph tells you what the largest religious groups in Rwanda are, but there are 3 possible missing answers. Here's your question. Look at the graphic. according to the talk, where in the pie chart would Catholic fall under? And your hint is that Catholic is a type of Christianity. Now your answers are A, B, C, or D, none of the above. The correct answer is B. If you can see the Protestant red section and the blue section together would make most of the chart. In the last paragraph of our talk, the guide says most of us are Christian. Now, if you're like me, you may have done a little research about this. And if you did go to Wikipedia or something else to try and learn more about religion in Rwanda, you may have found out that the situation isn't quite as clear as that. Particularly the Protestant section is, let's say, a little weird. However, if you're like me, that caused more confusion than it needed to. The simplest answer here is the correct one. You have your Protestant section of your graph and your Catholic section of the graph, and together they are most. And your guide said most, and for now, that's all you need to worry about. Let's talk about section 3. Now for section 3, you were asked to listen again to the monologue and fill in the blanks with suitable forms of the words that you had in exercise 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through the dialogue or the monologue here and give you the correct answers as we go along. So listen carefully and I'll mention what's right and show you the correct forms where that's important. Let's get started. Welcome to the Rwandan Safari Bus Tour. I am your guide today, and I am patient. Well, you just wondered, what is the patient for, right? That right there is your word patient. No, patient is my name. For those of you who are not familiar with Rwandan names, it may sound strange. But in Rwanda, the name patient means he is my love. A great name, isn't it? On our bus, you can use your headset so that you can listen to the information in your own language. If you push button number 1, you can hear Kinyarwanda, our local language. Number 2 is Swahili, the language spoken in East Africa. Number 3 is French. Number 4 is German. Kinyarwanda, Swahili, English, and French are official languages of Rwanda. By the way, where are you from? All right, you are from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Pay attention to those two words, by the way. When you wrote them down, each of those words, democratic and republic, should start with capital letters because Democratic Republic of the Congo is the name of a country. So while those words were regular nouns in exercise 1, here they are part of a proper noun, and so they should start with capital letters. Let's go on. We have many tourists from East African countries. How about you? Let me guess. You must be from the United States. Americans are seen anywhere. Oh, no? You are from Belgium? Welcome! Rwanda used to be ruled by Germany and Belgium. Note that this word is in a different form here. In exercise 1, you had the verb rule, but here it is in past tense. Ruled, ending with an ed, ruled. Let's go on. Since the rule of Belgium, we have used French. From 2008, English was added as an official language. Today, we are taking you mountain gorilla trekking in Volcano's National Park. Pay attention here because Volcano's National Park is another proper noun. So volcanoes should have a capital letter too. The park protects more than half of the mountain gorillas in the world. In this park, you can also meet golden monkeys, buffalo, and many kinds of beautiful birds. We provide you with a packed lunch. We prepared halal lunches without pork for Hindus. No, it is for Muslims. Hindus cannot eat beef, not pork. In Rwanda, most of us are Christian. Only 4.7% was Muslim in 2015, but the number is said to be increasing. From now, please watch a video introducing the beautiful nature of Volcano's National Park. And that covers all the words from exercise 1 that are in your dialogue. Good job. The last section of our assignment is called Critical Thinking and Speaking. Now, the title of this section is Self-Correction, but it's about a word I used back at the beginning, stereotypes. Now, a stereotype is a thought or a feeling or an idea or a belief that you have about another person or group of people because of what they look like, where they come from, their race, the color of their skin, their language, or some other factor. Stereotypes can lead us to biased or negative feelings that can be hurtful or even damaging to other people. Now, we often learn stereotypes from friends or family members. Some stereotypes are part of our cultures. So these are very important things for us to think about and to talk about and learn about. In today's lesson, we spent a lot of time talking about Rwanda, which is one of the countries in Africa. I would guess that some of you may have thought that Africa was a country, but it's not. There are many countries in the continent of Africa, and the people from these countries are all very, very different. They look different, they have different languages and backgrounds and thoughts and feelings, just like people from Asia or Japan are different in their thoughts and feelings and ideas. Many of us have thought or been taught that Africa is not developed or that it is all poor, that there are no cities or roads in Africa, but that is another stereotype. In fact, Africa, even Rwanda, has several big cities and some very nice highway systems and good roads in many places. So our stereotypes are often very wrong. Stereotypes are not limited to what we think of people from Africa. In fact, just about everybody in the world holds the same stereotype about people who don't speak the same language. If someone doesn't speak your language well, it's an easy stereotype to think, that person's not very smart. When in fact, they're probably just as smart as you are. Language doesn't equal smart, but a lot of us hold that stereotype. There are many stereotypes we hold about people who are foreign, people who look different, who speak other languages, or come from other places. And the only way to do better with this is to learn about other people, places, and things. So this week, I want to encourage you to do a little research. Learn about people from other places and ask yourself, what are my stereotypes about other people. The important thing to remember is that everybody around the world is human, just like you. We all have the same thoughts and feelings and desires as everybody else. No matter what language we speak, no matter what country we come from, the color of our skin, our nation or cultural background, we are all the same type of human being. And that's very important to remember. Thank you for joining me for today's English lesson. I will see you guys for next week's lesson as well. If you have any questions this week, feel free to email me or any of the other professors. We are always happy to answer questions. Or if you just want to talk, it's always good to practice your conversation anyway. Feel free to reach out to us. So that's it for today's lesson. Thanks for joining us this week. Good luck with your English study, your conversations about stereotypes. I look forward to seeing you in class next week. Have a great week. Bye.